Coming up right here on this stage in just a moment, you're going to want to stick around because none other than Depeche Mode will be out here in just a moment. New album, new song, stick around for that. But right now, folks, my next guest is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and author of The Warmth of Other Suns and Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents. Please welcome to The Late Show, Isabel Wilkerson. To have you on.
Thank you for having me.
As I said, the new book is Caste, The Origin of Our Discontents. It came out 2 years ago, but it's now out in paperback. The New York Times review called it the keynote nonfiction book of the American century thus far. For those who don't know, explain the concept of caste and how you perceive that within our own cultural context.
Well, first of all, caste is essentially an arbitrary, artificial, graded ranking of human value in a society. Any society, and we often think of that word applied to India, you know, the most recognizable caste system in the world. And yet it turned out that our founding fathers actually replicated or created a parallel kind of hierarchy. But what they did was you could use any number of metrics to create a caste system. You could use religion, you could use ethnicity, you could use immigrant status, language, all of that. But in our country, what the colonists chose to use was the metric of what people look like, meaning race. So race was the tool that was used to divide and to rank people, to determine who would be slave or free, who could own property or who could be property. And we still live with the after effects of that.
Okay, so you use a metaphor that I like. Please explain this. You've got this metaphor to sort of explain living within a caste system.
Yeah. Well, one metaphor that I love so much is the metaphor of this old house. I see myself as the building inspector of this old house we call America. And if anyone has an old house, they know that the work is never done in an old house. You never get a new hot water heater and say, phew, I'll never have to think about that again. There's some owners of the old house around here. And so you know the work is never done and you don't expect it to. So when you have a country such as ours, a country as old as ours is, we should not be expecting that the work is always done and all done. The other thing about a house as a metaphor for understanding ourselves is that when you take possession of an old house, and I'm the building inspector who's handing you this report, yes, and you take possession of that old house, you are not the one who created those uneven pillars and joists and beams. You're not the one who created the frayed wiring and the corroded pipes. But anything that happens going forward is on you. Any further deterioration is on you. And when you take on the task of taking possession of an old house, you don't get necessarily emotional about it. I mean, you may not love what the report is saying, yes, but it's not personal. It's not about shame and blame. It's recognizing that this is the situation that we're in. This is our inheritance as Americans, inheritance of if you take possession of an old house. And it's up to us to roll up our sleeves and get to work and do whatever it takes to fix this old house. Look at all those systems, overhaul those systems, do whatever it takes to fix those systems so that it can remain standing for generations to come.
There's an attack on teaching some of our history right now, especially on some of the far right. But those people are also leading presidential contenders at the same time. What do you say, what would you want to say to those who are looking to throttle or control the access to information about certain aspects of our history?
Well, let me get back to first the old house. I mean, you don't want to go in the basement after a flood, after a rain. You don't want to go in the basement. But if you don't go in the basement, it's at your own peril. Whatever is lurking in that basement will be there to taunt you no matter whether you know it or not. Ignorance is no protection against the consequences of inaction. Not knowing is not protecting us.
You have said that the murder of Tyre Nichols reminds us that caste is not really, in fact, about black or white. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, we're accustomed to the polarity of black versus white in our country.
So this is solely a racial conversation.
We're accustomed to seeing it when the people involved look a certain way at the extremes of the polar configurations in our country. But what the Tyre Nichols case shows us so tragically is that you do not have to be in the dominant group, the dominant caste, in order to do its bidding. That we all have been exposed to and programmed to recognize what the hierarchy is, whose lives are valued and whose lives are so devalued that anyone in any group, including one's own, can attack you. And that's what happened to him. And so that to maintain a caste system of the hierarchies of where everyone's positioned and to maintain the social order that we are so accustomed to, that's a 400-year-old social order, there are sentinels at every rung. And in that case, that's what they were doing. They were enforcers of the caste system.
Your father built bridges. You said he was an engineer and he built bridges. And you say that you want to carry on that legacy. What do you mean by that? Because you're not an engineer.
No, he wanted me to be an engineer, but that was not happening. That wasn't happening. He finally came around after a while to what I chose to do. No, my father was a Tuskegee Airman. And, yeah. And these were among the finest pilots our country has ever produced. And yet, when the war ended and they went out, looking to pursue that which they had loved and had so proven themselves to be capable of, it turned out that they were prohibited from being able to work as pilots, speaking of restrictions and caste. And so they were not able to get jobs. No one would hire them as pilots. And so they had to go out and remake themselves. And some of my father's friends, they went off and they became dentists, some went into law, and my father went back to school for another degree in civil engineering. So he became literally the builder of bridges. And so I am the daughter of a builder of bridges, and I take that on as my legacy in everything that I do to connect otherwise disparate things and to show that which we have in common that we might not otherwise be seeing.
Well, Isabel, thank you so much for being here. It was lovely to talk to you. Caste is now available in paperback. Isabel Wilkerson, everybody. We'll be right back with a performance by Depeche Mode.